everyone, here is how I cut out Butterwick 6446 to make it breastfeeding friendly, but you can apply the same idea to any pattern with a similar cut. The main thing is that your pattern needs to have these sort of little horizontal pleats across the bust. We're going to play into these pleats to kind of hide our gap for the breastfeeding friendly part. Yeah, Henry, I'm doing this voiceover with my son Henry, who's about 5 months old. And I'm using this lovely black floral fabric that is linked below. It has a bit of spandex in it, which really helps with the whole breastfeeding friendly part. It's also just a great year-round design, which is great because if your life is like mine, you barely have any time to sew for yourself. So to get started, I pinned pattern piece number 1 to the grain and started cutting it out like normal. And then I measured up just past that first pleat area, so I'm doing size 12, which means this is about 6 inches for me. So I take that same 6-inch measurement to the other side, and then I take some of this Taylor's crayon, and I used it since it's the only thing that I have that shows up on black fabric, and I used that to mark the same 6 inches across, starting from that bottom raw edge. And basically when I saw the pattern, I thought it would lend itself well to hiding the two pieces of fabric together, since I could just overlap the two pieces and it would just look like another pleat. But that overlap gap would make it this breastfeeding friendly, if you see where I'm going with this. Just keep watching. So after I marked that 6 inches across that curve, then I cut it out. And then I line up that same number 1 pattern piece to the newly cut edge. And I move it down 1 inch though, so I will have 1 inch to fold over twice to enclose those raw edges. And then I continue to cut it out like normal. So then I move on to pattern piece number 2, and this piece doesn't have a built-in pleat to the pattern, so I'm just going to add about 1.5 inches to the bottom of the smaller side so I can add a pleat to that side. Now remember, I'm hiding the two panels coming together with these pleats, so each side needs to have at least one pleat. And I hope all this is making sense. So I clip at the 2 and 4 inch mark to show where that new pleat is going to go, but you can put this pleat wherever, whatever range makes sense for your body. Yeah, Henry. And then I mark across that pattern piece in the same sort of fashion that I did with the previous piece. So I'm measuring up from the raw edge at the bottom, and then I picked a measurement that is 1 inch above the 2 inch pleat mark. And then I moved the number 2 pattern piece down about 1 inch or ½ inch. Doesn't really matter, as it just depends on how much fabric you're going to turn up when you go to enclose those raw edges. If you're going to turn up 1/4 inch twice, then go with ½ inch. But if you'd rather do a ½ inch twice, then you need to add 1 inch. If you want to do a serge edge and then fold that up, well, whatever makes sense in your case, just be consistent and think about what you're doing. And from there, I pinned the pattern piece number 2 and I cut it out like normal. So finally, the last thing that you have to do to alter this to be breastfeeding friendly is to make some facings, since you don't want this to be lined, or at least I didn't want it to be lined. Just one more thing to wrestle with when your hungry crying baby is wanting some milk. So I used the pattern pieces to make facings. It doesn't have to be perfect here. You can clean up those curves on a serger later on. And you do want to flip your pattern piece over so your facing will match up to the dress with right sides of the fabrics touching. And I completely forgot about doing this, so you'll see in my tutorial that half of my facings are the wrong side of the fabric facing out. It happens. I'm not going to worry about it. It's on the inside of my dress. Such as life. So to prepare those pattern pieces for the full sewing tutorial, you'll turn those raw edges up once, iron that down in place, and then turn them up again and iron that down in place before taking it to your sewing machine to stitch them in place. But like I said, you could do a serge M and then fold that up. You could use snape tape, or that's not snape tape, what's it called? That bias tape stuff. Whatever you want to do, just enclose those raw edges somehow, and then once you are done stitching all those raw edges down, then you can put the top part of the bodice on top of the bottom part of the bodice and go ahead and check your alignment with the pattern piece you might have to trim off a little bit. We've done a lot at this point. And then you can tack those pieces together at the ends. And then from there, just repeat the same thing to the other side, and you will be ready for the spool sewing tutorial, which is linked down below, or you can just follow your pattern's directions if you'd rather. So I hope this video was helpful. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.